Well, hello and welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv. This morning I have a Starbucks. I went out earlier to meet my son and wound up picking up one of these. So, beautiful morning here, a little bit brisk, but that's to be expected from October. Let's see what we got going on the channel today. Welcome to Morning Coffee. Maddog Merv today. Got our French roast this morning
Bagel.
again. No wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear. A schmear.
He's probably going for bagels. He's trying to steal. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that? Today's shout out goes to a channel called Real Terrain Hobbies. And I was doing some research for some camouflage that I wanted to do on a tank, some foliage, and I ran across this channel. He has some really interesting and helpful tips on what I was trying to do. So subscribe to him and checked out some of his videos, and there's some great stuff there. Real Terrain Hobbies. All right, so we did part 2 of putting these aliens together. Tomorrow is going to be part 3, which final reveal, all that kind of stuff, a few little odds and ends that we're putting on them, and we'll show you the display that I've got cooking up for them. So don't miss that one. Again, I'm sorry that it's taking so long to do this, that I've had to do it in 3 parts. I know it's, for somebody who's just kind of checking it out, it's hard to view that way. But the reason I did it the way I did, as I said before, is you can find on YouTube other videos on how to build these type of aliens. The problem is, in my opinion, they're crap, because what happens is you get the basic idea and you start putting things together, and then you get out in real life and they fall apart, fade, whatever. I've had to constantly, every couple of days, repair these things because I didn't have proper instruction on how to do them. So that's why I'm putting the video together, is so that you can see, first time ever doing something like that, how difficult it is, or how easy it is, but also what works and what doesn't work. And there's a lot that doesn't work when you're dealing with the materials I was dealing with. So you'll like the very end, though. Guaranteed. You'll like how this turns out. So the stash, we had that B-52 that I picked up from my friend Rob Humphreys. He's the guy with the million kits and world's most interesting modeler, as I call him. Rob, what he would do is he'd buy 2 kits of everything. One to build and one to maybe, put in the stash. And then if he ever got around to it, great. So sometimes he had 2 kits. But he's, over the past several years, he's been selling off some, and then he buys more and, whatnot. But these are still some of the older kits that he's got from the 90s. And I've built this one before, at least once. The later version of the G I've built before as well. But again, I wanted another one. I thought it would be... I ran out of room and I didn't have a place to store them, and I got rid of them, and I then regretted it. So, you got to love a B-52. You got to have that in your... If you do aircraft at all, you got to have a B-52. And I'm sure most of you folks have built one at least once in your modeling lifetime. So, anyway, that's why we did that. Coming up, we got a couple of... One that's really interesting to me. So there's a M3 Lee kit, an old M3 Lee kit. I don't want... Everybody else reviews these brand new ones. That's great. Check them out, and they're good kits. You've got something in your stash, and you're like, gosh, I wonder how good of a kit this is compared to the new one. I'm your guy, because I'll open up one of them from the 90s and early 2000s and show it to you, so you have some idea what you're up against. Because back then they didn't have very good kit reviews, or kit reviews at all. So anyway, might be doing this M3 Lee this week. If not, we'll do it in another week. But the one I'm really excited for is the commemorative tin of the Dragula from, I think it's AMT, put it out, and the Munster Coach. And it's that time of year again. The Munster Coach I'm probably going to wait to build for a while because of the fact that it needs a lot of detail work to make it look right. But the Dragula, I'm probably going to try and get that done before Halloween. So anyway, we're going to review that either this week or next week on the stash. So, as you can see, I am back home. And wow, what a trip. I'll be honest with you guys. I really was thinking that I need to hang up the spurs, so to speak, on that part of my my career. Doing these, how do I put it? Going and doing these teaching things nationally. I enjoy them. It's what I love doing. But they, they come a couple of times a year. Still the opportunities. But with all else I got going in life right now, and it not being the primary part of my world, I just been feeling that maybe I should, hang up my spurs, so to speak. So I was very apprehensive about going on this trip because I hate to fly. I hate flying. But my good friends in the national circuit decided to get me there to Virginia and pay my way. So I thought, well, it'll be a nice little getaway. What the heck? So the flight going over was a little bit difficult. I got up normal time last Saturday and wind up not boarding a flight until what the heck time did we get on board? It was about 10:30 p.m. Salt Lake time. And then we had a 5-hour flight to Boston. In the 5-hour flight, I got no sleep. Get to Boston, grab a coffee. It's basically 3:30 the next morning, my time, with an hour nap during the afternoon. So I wind up taking a short nap in the terminal, just sitting in the chair, just can't stay awake anymore. Fell asleep for about 45 minutes. But then I was up at an 8-hour layover and then flew from there into Richmond. I wish I could have got a direct flight to Richmond. That would have been my choice, but it just wasn't in the cards. So anyway, I get to Richmond, and now it's 4 in the afternoon their time. No time for rest, so I had to change and get right to the social for this conference, and I had a great time. The food was great. Got to meet a lot of people that reacquaint with people that I had seen met before, and spent a good 3 hours just mingling and touching base with the conference attendees. So, it was a real good time. But Monday came the keynote speaker, breakfast and then the keynote speaker. There's about 200 attendees at this, and they're school district managers from all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. And it was, people that could make a lot of decisions and make a lot of changes. So the keynote speaker was a gentleman from a company called Armored One, and they were doing kind of a debrief on the Uvalde, Texas shooting massacre that happened a year ago, and the lessons that were learned from analyzing, that whole shooting and what had happened. It was very informative. Really gave me a resolve that, school safety is now paramount over everything else, and I probably can still help somewhere along the way. So after that, there was some breakout sessions, and one that I went to talked about securing the inside and outside perimeters of your school, and had some ideas on how to do that. Again, I learned a lot. Immediately went back up to my room, called my buddy who's still with Salt Lake School District, and said, "Hey, we need to talk about school security. Here's what I found out." So it was very good for me to be able to go to this conference. It filled me with a lot of resolve. Tuesday was my turn to flap my gums. I had an hour-long session where I taught about pest management in schools and keeping harsh chemicals away from kids. Then I sat on a panel discussion talking about harsh cleaning chemicals and better alternatives. So for me, I felt like I was making a difference. I felt like I was learning important things that, again, I need to get out there in the world. And my friends on the national stage with me, they've been talking about trying to do something on social media, some blogs, whatever they could do. And I said, look, I got another YouTube channel that has to do with cleaning in schools. I've got the platform. You guys got the content. Let's get together and do this. So we're going to try and revitalize that channel. We'll see how things go. Again, not doing it for the money, which there won't be any, but the main thing we're doing it for is to get information out there so that we can have healthier, cleaner schools for kids to learn in. So we'll see how that goes. Virginia was beautiful. I love being there. It was in the mid 70s to 80, a little bit hazy, but just beautiful, comfortable, nice, trees everywhere. Thoroughly enjoyed my time. I would love to go back again on a vacation where I'm actually able to go to some of the battlefields and some of the historical places. I've been to some of them over the years, but I haven't been there on a historical vacation in over 20 years. So I'd definitely like to get back there. Hopefully sooner than later. We'll see how things go. So I get back home on the bench. I am almost finished up with a tank called the Bog Horror. It's my Mutant 6. So finishing up that Mutant 6 build. Yes, we will have a show on that around Halloween. I'm super excited to have that project done. Not because it's been a pain in the neck or anything, but I'm just anxious to have it in the collection. Something extremely unique, and honestly, I don't think anyone else has got a model of it. I don't think, because you have to scratch build the turret. As far as I know, I'm the only one that's done it. So it's not something that you can kit bash or it could be 3D printed if somebody wanted to do it, but to my knowledge, it hasn't been done. So I'm really excited to get that one done. So we're getting close on that. I'm helping out with some other Halloween decorations that some of the family is putting together. So I'm busy as heck, this time of year, doing a lot of crafting. So I'm going to get back to that. You folks have a wonderful rest of a day. It's going to be beautiful. This week in Salt Lake is supposed to be beautiful in the 70s and just good October weather. A little bit brisk in the mornings, but hey, I'll take it. The only problem is winter's coming. We all know how I feel about that. So, and one last thing. I got a new office in the house. We've been doing some rearranging, building a room that we can use for a bar. Yeah. Just fly right on over. We've got a room that we want to utilize for a game room, TV watching room, / bar, type of thing. That we haven't been able to do in quite some time due to all of the family that we've had living here. So we're working on that. We're working on remodeling the kitchen. So we're very ambitious right now in the house. But as part of that, I'm getting a new office. It's a room that I've had before and used before many years ago. and I'm super stoked to have it back for my office. So we'll be doing some broadcasts from that coming up soon, as soon as I get it all organized and put together. So we'll see you guys tomorrow on the show. Take care.